So today we're going to be going over the top items to pick up from this vendor reset. There was actually a pretty decent amount of good items for all of you guys who are just getting into the game or returning and might not have the pieces you need for builds. And we'll go through them today. So today we're at the clan vendor. This is the same vendor that's in DC or in New York City, so that's where we're starting today. So the first item I personally would pick up are these Eclipse Protocol gloves. If you guys don't have them already, because they already have skill tier, then you can put status effects and actually use these on my status effect build. There's nothing wrong with it. If you don't have these, pick them up. If you do, well then don't worry about it. The next piece is the ongoing directive mask. It actually has weapon damage, so you have what you want there, and then you can actually run crit damage, headshot damage, whatever you really want to run with this. And that's actually a pretty decently rolled one, so I would probably pick this one up too if I don't have it. Aces and Eights actually has one with headshot damage, exactly what you want to, and then you can max out that weapon damage, and then you could just optimize the headshot damage, and you have the knee pads you would be looking for on an Aces and Eights build. We keep going down. There are a couple other decent items if you guys want. The SOCOM NK16. I'm just not a fan of it. Some people actually like it, so it's not bad at all. I just don't prefer it. They have the Black Market RPK with Vindictive. It has really good LMG roll, has a really good damage to targets out of cover roll. Then you can roll that stability for damage to armor, and you can actually leave Vindictive and then pair this up with a build where you do apply some type of status effect and then you kill them, and then you have the extra crit chance to crit damage on your build. So not a bad rolled one. So if you guys are looking for one and you want to run that talent, well, there you guys go. There's also an ACS 12 that has almost the same thing. Really good shotgun damage, really good damage to armor. Reroll that stability for something else, damage to targets out of cover. And then it has Vindictive. Now for this one, I'm not too sure about this unless you have someone that is putting status effects on the enemies. Ideally that'd be good, but I like close and personal, so I just don't know. Maybe if you're looking for one, you could put close and personal and just really scrap that stability, but it's just not something I would pick up. Keep going through here. They have an Urban MDR. Keep going on, and this is the next piece I would actually pick up, these Grupo Sombra knee pads. Maxed out weapon damage, so you can use that on your library. Not only that, these knee pads are actually pretty decently rolled. They have weapon damage, critical chance, weapon handling. You can leave the weapon handling if you want. You can re-roll it for critical hit damage, headshot damage. You could keep the weapon handling, re-roll the critical hit chance. A lot of different ways you could do this, but some pretty decently rolled knee pads, Grupo Sombra. So if you guys are looking for these, there you guys go. And then they have this critical hit chance mod 4.7. I think that was the highest crit chance mod that they had this week, so if you guys are looking for that. The next item's actually just going to be a mod. They have a critical hit damage mod right here at the Haven, right here in New York City. So it's going to be Marco right here. Go down here and it's going to be this offensive system mod, 10.2% critical hit damage. Yeah, that's the only thing I would really pick up here, and that's about it. They have a skill haste mod if you want to get that, but yeah, these two would probably be the one things I would pick up. We're gonna head all the way through, and there's one more vendor. That's what I actually like about in New York City. There's actually 3 vendors versus 2 vendors like in DC. And we'll go right here. And he is going to have a decently rolled AUG. If you guys have been looking for that, that's the enhanced submachine gun. So if you guys are looking at picking this up, pretty decent. Not my favorite. Keep going down. I really don't see anything else here. This Black Market SSG already has shotgun damage to armor. You can put damage to targets out of cover, and it has close and personal. So if you guys have been looking for one of those, you could fully optimize that. And this is the next piece that is decent. It already has a really nice headshot damage. They're Fenris gloves. So the headshot damage is almost maxed out. You could re-roll the repair skills and then just max out the weapon damage, and that would be decently rolled. Or you could even max out the weapon damage and leave the repair skills, depending on what kind of builds you're running. But yeah, that's just something for you to keep in mind. Pretty decent. I would probably re-roll the repair skills though, 100%. They have the Cheska holster on here, pretty decently roll weapon damage, hazard protection, headshot damage. You could do a lot of different things with this if you try to build a has build, if you guys are trying to build a headshot damage build, if you want crit chance, headshot damage, crit damage, headshot damage. A lot of different ways you could actually run this one. So another decently rolled one if you guys are looking for that. And there's actually a 7.6 headshot damage mod here too. And that was about it that I saw right here in Haven. The next item is actually going to be in DC, so we're going to head over there. So the next item is going to be right here at the theater, so right here, and this is in DC. And there's only one item I actually saw, well, two items. They have the Super 90 with shotgun damage, damage to armor, headshot damage, and it already has in sync. A lot of people actually like running this. You can swap out the headshot damage for damage targets out of cover. You have yourself a pretty nice Super 90. So if you guys are looking for that, this is what you guys can pick up. They also have some decent Walker and Harris gloves with weapon damage, crit chance, and you can roll crit chance for the skill damage. Now I will tell you though that this season is actually Walker and Harris and Eclipse. So you might want to save some of your money unless you're trying to build something right away. And that was about it. That's all I really saw here from this vendor at the theater. Now there's gonna be one item at the White House at the vendor right in the front, so we'll just stop there real quick. So right here, the vendor right at the front of the White House, there's a vendor, and he's gonna have actually a pretty nice battery pack. This is the name Empress International that comes with perfectly calculated kills from cover, reduce skill cooldowns by 15%. So it already has a skill tier, it has skill damage. You can put status effects, skill haste, whatever you want for that crit chance, and you have yourself a decent backpack. And this is the one that I would pick up. I'll go through the rest of them so that way you guys can just take a look at everything else here. They have another SOCOM MK16. Not a big fan of it. I told you guys the rolls aren't too good, and we'll keep going on just so you guys can take a look at the rest. They also have a 10.1% critical hit damage, but I already showed you that 10.2 in New York City at Marco the vendor. So yeah, so next item is right here at the campus settlement, and we're going to see what we have. So she actually has a new reliable. This actually has decently rolled. It comes perfectly optimized, but what I tell you is it has maxed out health damage, and health damage is actually a low-key really good talent to have. Since this one already has damage to targets out of cover, that health damage actually helps with those bosses, those tanks that have only health damage. So you can either max out the damage to targets out of cover, max out the LMG damage. I'll let you guys do that and keep that health damage. And this one's not bad at all. So if you guys have been looking for the new reliable, well, there you guys go. And then everything else here is okay. I mean, they have an infantry MG5 with LMG damage, damage to targets out of cover. I would swap out the rate of fire and actually put damage to armor, or you can leave the rate of fire and then max out the damage target out of cover. It has unhinged on it, grants 18% weapon damage at the cost of negative 25% stability and accuracy. And I've never had any trouble controlling any of these LMGs, so you guys should be perfectly good there. And let's just keep going through real quick just to see if there's anything else here. And I don't believe so. They do have a skill haste, a couple skill haste mods, duration mods, so just in case that's what you're looking for. So the next item is actually going to cost DZ resources, and it's here at Dark Zone East. Now I'm going to tell you, nothing here is really amazing, but in case you guys are looking for any of these, like the good times, which comes with LMG damage, damage targets out of cover, you can reroll that critical hit damage, and it has perfect fast hands. And then also there is a pretty decently rolled Grupo Sombra mask with weapon damage, crit chance. You can roll the headshot damage for crit damage, max this out, and you have a max out roll one. But remember, all of these do cost DZ resources, so none of them are must buys. I did just want to show you what they had, and the ones that were pretty decently rolled, I was like, you know what, they might actually like these. Now the final couple items are going to be right here at DZ West, and I'm going to tell you, save your money because they do have a harmony that has rifle damage, critical damage, and damage to targets, damage to armor, and it has perfectly in sync. But you can actually get this in this reward track for this season, so don't really worry about that. They do have a decently rolled negotiators gloves, weapon damage, weapon handling, and they also have some pretty decently rolled gloves, Providence gloves, weapon damage, headshot damage, and then you can roll crit chance, crit damage on there. But nothing I think is that you guys need to 100% get. So save your money, but those are the must buys, or the buys, the better buys of the week. That's what I'm gonna say. These are the better buys of the week. If you guys are looking at getting any of these, well, that is them for you. We'll wrap up the video here, guys. Appreciate the support, appreciate the love. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, nothing but skills is out.